So, who exactly was Jesus of Nazareth? Was he just a brilliant moral teacher, one of many throughout history, or was he something else entirely? This is one of the biggest questions you can ask, and we're about to dive into the extraordinary answer the Bible gives.
You know, for a lot of people, Jesus fits pretty neatly onto a list of the world's greatest thinkers. A wise sage, a profound teacher, the founder of a major world religion. That makes sense to a lot of folks.
And you'll often see his name right alongside these other giants who totally shaped human history. But here's the thing, the Bible makes a claim about Jesus that puts him in a completely different league. It's way more radical than just being a great teacher.
So how do the scriptures build this incredible case? Well, here's our roadmap. We're going to walk through this step by step to see how the story unfolds. First up, the Apostle John. He starts his story about Jesus in a really unexpected place. We're not in a stable in Bethlehem. No, he takes us back to the very beginning of everything. Before time, before space, before anything. Right out of the gate, John makes this absolutely stunning statement. He says the Word was with God, which tells you they're distinct, right? But then, in the same breath, he says the Word was God. He's saying they share the exact same divine nature. It's a real mind-bender.
So there's no ambiguity here. John's point is crystal clear. This Word is God. Full stop. The next obvious question then is, okay, so what did this Word do?
And here it is. The Word wasn't just part of creation. He was the one doing the creating. Everything you see, everything you can't see, from the biggest galaxies down to the tiniest atom, John's Gospel claims it all came into being through him.
So, the Bible's first massive claim is that this Word, who we later learn is Jesus, is none other than the all-powerful, perfectly holy creator of the entire universe.
But that very fact that the Creator is perfect and holy, well, that created a huge problem, a deep, cosmic dilemma in his relationship with the people he created and loved.
You see, the scriptures teach that God is like pure, perfect light, and humanity, because of sin, is like darkness. And as we all know, light and darkness just can't exist in the same space. This created this massive, uncrossable gap between us and our Creator.
So that's the dilemma, right? How could a perfectly holy God rescue the people he loves without compromising his own nature? The answer to that question led to the most astonishing event in the history of the universe. The solution wasn't for us to somehow climb our way up to God. That was impossible. The solution was for God to come down to us. The big theological word for this is the Incarnation. It sounds complicated, but the Bible explains it with this breathtaking simplicity.
Just let that sink in for a second. The Word, the infinite, universe-creating God, became flesh, became a human. The mind that imagined supernovas took on the limits of a human brain. The hands that sculpted mountains became the tiny, helpless hands of a baby. It's just incredible.
So why did it have to be this way? Well, the scriptures argue it was a two-part solution. Jesus had to be fully God, to have the infinite power to defeat sin and death for everyone. And he had to be fully human, so he could actually die in our place, as our substitute. Now, while he was here on earth, Jesus didn't exactly keep this identity a secret. And, as you can probably guess, claiming to be God in human flesh, well, that led to some serious conflict. I mean, when Jesus said something like, "I and the Father are one," the people listening knew exactly what he meant. This wasn't just some poetic phrase about having the same goals. He was claiming to be one in being, one in essence, with God the Father. And we know they understood him because look at their response. They pick up stones to kill him, not for being a bad teacher, but for blasphemy. Why? Because you, a mere man, claim to be God. In an unbelievable twist of irony, this is what led humanity to crucify the very creator of life itself.
But then came the resurrection, and everything changed. Even his most skeptical follower, a guy we call Doubting Thomas, finally got it. When he saw the risen Jesus standing right in front of him, all his doubts just melted away into this powerful, simple confession, "My Lord and my God."
But the story doesn't stop at the resurrection. Years later, that same Apostle John gets a vision of the risen Jesus. But this time, he's not seeing the humble teacher from Galilee. He's seeing Jesus in his full, unveiled cosmic glory.
And just look at what happens. This is John, the guy who leaned against Jesus at the Last Supper, his best friend. He'd known Jesus as a man, but now, seeing him in his true, divine state, he just collapses. He falls at his feet as if he were dead. This wasn't his friend anymore. This was the Creator in all his terrifying majesty.
And then Jesus speaks. He says, "Do not be afraid. I am the first and the last." Now that's a title straight from the Old Testament, used only for God himself. He's declaring his absolute authority over everything, over life, over death, over reality itself. He's the beginning and the end.
So it all comes full circle. The consistent, unwavering message of the Bible, from start to finish, is that Jesus isn't just a great sage to be admired from a distance. He is the Creator God who became one of us to save us and who now reigns as the glorious eternal King. Or as John puts it so perfectly, he is the true God and eternal life.
We really hope this explainer was helpful for you in digging into this incredible belief. Subscribing, liking, and commenting are a great encouragement for making the next video.